Well, this week we're thinking about facts, and the notion is that in argumentation or in thinking, command of the facts is an absolutely essential part of critical thinking. It goes along with the truth side of things. The fundamental idea of the course that real critical thinking, good reasoning, um, is as much a matter of what we know as a matter of how we reason. In fact, and it seems to be an essential aspect of that, that is, we cannot reason well unless we have some grasp of the facts. But what is a fact? well, this is a conceptual question, right? But it's also a question about a word or a group of words. And when it comes to that, trying to grasp the concept, really, usage is our guide. That is, how do we use the word? And what are the implications of how we use the word? Well, an initial sort of, I suppose, approach to the question. Maybe I don't know what a fact is, but I believe that this is true. The facts are what they are, irrespective of what you or I or anyone happens to believe. I think it was John Adams very famously said that facts are stubborn things. We can change our beliefs, but we can't change the facts. The facts are, I think, the usage of the word fact, proper usage of it is always referring to something or saying something that does not depend upon what you or I happen to believe, what anyone happens to believe or think is true. The facts are simply what they are. So that I hope that that's something that is acceptable to everyone. I may be wrong, of course, but that's my presumption. So what this leads to is a certain conclusion. Facts are not beliefs. Beliefs are mental entities. You have them, I have them. Exactly what they are is also mysterious and maybe should be a subject of this course. I don't think I have it set out, though. But facts are not beliefs. Now, you can have a factual belief. That is, you can have a belief, something you believe is true, that in fact is true. A factual belief would be a belief that is a true one. In other words, but you can't have a fact in the sense you can have a belief. If we think of the mind metaphorically, as we often, pretty much, I think when we think of minds, we have to think of them metaphorically because we instantly begin to describe them in terms that we know just can't be literally true about them. For instance, that something is in the mind is a spatial metaphor, I think. And minds are not in space, so already we're speaking metaphorically. But if we say that I have a belief in my mind, or that somehow my mind contains, in some sense, metaphor, my beliefs, I can't say that about facts. My mind may contain factual beliefs, but the facts are mind independent, I would say. That is, the facts are not, again, to use a cruder metaphor, not in our heads in the way that our beliefs are, in the way that our desires are, in the way that our thoughts are. So a fact is not a thought, I don't think it's a thought. Which, the sort of points to, well, I mean, then where is, if facts are not mental things, then where are they? If they're not in the mind, where are they? Well, this leads to some other problems too, right? That what is there in the world? When we think about mind independent entities, what are we, if that is, things are in the world and not in our minds or in our representations of the world, our subjective representations of the world, let's say, then we think of things. That is, I think it may not be correct at the end of the day, but it's certainly plausible as a starting point to say that the world, the mind independent world, the external world, is composed of things. And facts are what is true about those things. For instance, something like the White House. The White House is a thing of a certain sort, a physical object. But the White House is not a fact. I mean, again, letting usage be our guide, we would never say that the White House is a fact, literally. The White House is a thing in the world. It's not a fact. That the White House is in Washington, D.C. is a fact. That is, the facts, I think, are not things. Facts are what is true about things. In this respect, you and I are things. Maybe we're complex things because we're not merely physical objects. Our bodies, we think that there's other aspects to us which are not captured by our physicality. But in the widest sense, you and I are things. We are not facts. About us as things, there are certain truths. There are certain things that are true about us. That I am currently in the city of Philadelphia. That I wear glasses. That I am, at the moment, preparing a video for an online course. These are all facts about me. But they are not me. I am a thing. I am a thing, again, of a certain complex sort. So our facts, what kind of things are facts? Are they then in our minds? Well, they don't seem to be anything like beliefs, subjective mental contents. I can't have a fact in the sense that I can have a belief, but they also, it's difficult to put them outside of the mind and into the world because it does seem that the world is composed of things and facts are not things. Facts are the truths about things. So I will look further into the, how exactly to characterize a fact by looking at the week's philosophical reading. But I thought that might be this might be a way to get started. And again, I think that when it comes to, everything we read, usage is important. And that's one of the reasons that I give you the classical Webster definition of these things, for instance, here, which I can't say I always agree with it, but it's actually, it's a good starting point. And here you get the facts are stubborn things quote, which I think, again, is John Adams, the second president of the United States. Here, he does describe a fact or define it as an event, but I think that is pretty quickly proved wrong because certainly if it's a fact that the White House is in Washington, D.C., that's not an event. That is a state of the White House. So the Webster doesn't always get it right, I don't think, but that's okay. Webster is always at least plausible and captures something, and it's at least a starting point for thinking about the meaning of the word.